Imagine this. You've just landed your absolute dream job, fresh out of your PhD environmental engineer,
Okay.
and you're heading to the EPA in D.C., but you're also carrying, well, let's just say, a mountain of student debt.
Right. And D.C. is notoriously expensive, the cost of living there.
Exactly. It looms like this massive obstacle. Then, like a miracle, you inherit a house from your beloved mentor, no less.
Wow. Okay, pure relief. Problem solved.
You'd think so. But for Mara, our protagonist today, this gift, it comes with a twist, a really big one. It makes her rethink that whole phrase, get on like a house on fire.
Oh. Oh, so...
Well, she calls it the most misleading saying in the English language. She pictures like bazookas, flamethrowers, sirens.
Okay, not exactly cozy.
Not at all, because as she puts it, nothing is more guaranteed to start a house fire than two enemies blowtorching each other's most prized possession.
That's quite an image. And it really highlights something, doesn't it? An inheritance.
Yeah.
We usually see it as just a gift, straightforward.
Yeah, a blessing.
But sometimes they arrive with strings attached, really complex ones. Or, in this case, a whole other person sharing the gift.
You nailed it. Mara's story goes from dream come true to, well, intense confrontation almost immediately.
So that's our focus today.
That's our focus. We're diving deep into this really wild story. Unexpected inheritance, a co-owner she never saw coming, and just a total clash of worlds.
Okay.
Our mission is to unpack how she got here, drawing from this great narrative excerpt we have that really paints a picture of everyone involved.
Sounds fascinating. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first, let's properly meet Mara Floyd. Just got her PhD, heading to D.C., EPA scientist job. This is huge for her.
EPA. Wow. So she's right there, front lines of environmental policy.
Exactly. And remember the debt. She mentions having $1 billion in student loans. Maybe a slight exaggeration.
Maybe just a bit, but still a crushing amount.
Totally. And anyone who knows D.C. housing knows it's crazy expensive. So this house from Helena, it's not just nice, it's a lifeline. Financial stability she couldn't have imagined.
A complete game changer.
Absolutely. And it comes from Helena Harding, her late PhD advisor, her mentor.
Okay, so a really close relationship there.
Oh, incredibly close. Mara calls Helena family in a way my cold, distant blood relatives never cared to be. It paints a picture of this really strong personal bond. And Helena sounds like quite the character, even at the end. Mara calls her the worst till the very end, says she even cheated in our last chess game, knowing she'd win anyway.
Huh, really?
Yeah. And she had specific funeral music requests, apparently, like Karma Chameleon.
Okay, definitely memorable. A unique individual.
For sure.
And, you know, what's really fascinating here is how this gift goes beyond just property. It's more than just a house.
How do you mean?
Well, it feels like what we might call a legacy intervention. Helena knew Mara felt lonely, wanted roots.
Yeah, Mara admits she's lonely. Helena apparently always wanted her to belong and settle down somewhere.
Exactly. So Helena uses this inheritance, maybe realizing Mara wasn't going to settle down with someone to help her settle down somewhere. Practical help, yes, but it's also fulfilling this deep wish Helena had for Mara's stability, her sense of home.
Huh. Like Helena's still trying to guide her life, even after she's gone.
Precisely. Which, you know, raises its own questions about influence, even well-intentioned influence, from beyond the grave.
That's a really interesting point. But just as Mara's feeling maybe finally secure...
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Here it comes. The narrative takes this sharp turn, a massive twist. Turns out, Helena, she only owned half the house.
Wait, what? Only half?
Only half. The other half belongs to her nephew, Liam Harding.
Oh, wow. Okay, that changes things dramatically.
You bet it does. Mara tells her best friends, Sadie and Hannah, over FaceTime and their reactions. Uh-oh. And, holy shit.
Can't blame them. So who is this nephew, Liam?
He's in his early 30s, a lawyer, currently living in the house, alone.
Living there now. Okay.
Yeah. And here's a big red flag. He didn't come to Helena's funeral, apparently because of lots of drama.
Drama. Never a good sign in family inheritance situations.
Right. Mara jokes, maybe the Hardings are old money, but less Vanderbilts, more Kardashians.
So the big question then, did Helena know Liam owned the other half?
That's what I was wondering.
Because if she did, what was she thinking? Leaving Mara a shared property with a relative she apparently barely spoke to. Given Helena's, let's say, unique personality.
And the whole funeral drama.
Exactly. It feels intentional, almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes in wills, people try to exert what we call posthumous control, trying to arrange things after they're gone.
So maybe Helena was trying to force them together, or force some kind of confrontation.
It's possible. It could be a catalytic inheritance, a gift meant to shake things up, provoke change in the lives of the people left behind. Maybe she thought they both needed this somehow.
That's a complex way to think about it, a catalytic inheritance. But couldn't it just be simpler?
How so?
Like Helena knew Mara desperately needed a place to live. Maybe she just hoped Liam, being family, would either be welcoming or just, sell a share. A practical solution, not some elaborate scheme.
That's certainly possible. On the surface, it looks logical, practical.
Right.
But when you factor in the family drama and a character like Helena, who, as Mara says, cheated at chess, the simple explanation gets murky, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess it does.
What seems practical from one angle might be tangled up in old grievances, or maybe even hopes for reconciliation from another. It just reminds us that even kind acts can have, well, complicated consequences.
Ooh.
Maybe even deliberately complicated ones.
And boy, do those consequences get complicated fast, because Mara finds out what kind of lawyer Liam Harding is.
Okay, not just any lawyer.
Nope, corporate lawyer for FGP Corp.
FGP Corp, wait, the fossil fuel people.
The very same. Big oil. Super majors, as Mara calls them.
Wow. Okay, so Mara's starting at the EPA.
Protecting the environment.
And her new co-owner, housemate potentially, works for Big Oil.
Yeah. Mara's got stickers on her suitcase like, keep calm and recycle on, and good planets are hard to find. The irony is just staggering. Almost funny if it wasn't so potentially explosive.
It's more than irony, isn't it? It takes this huge societal tension environment versus fossil fuels and boils it down into one shared house, one inheritance.
Yeah.
Liam's job, defending a company whose actions often directly oppose the regulations Mara will be working to uphold at the EPA. This isn't just about who gets which bedroom.
No way.
It's symbolic. A clash of core values, career paths, worldviews, all baked into the deed of the house. It really makes you think about how much our jobs shape us and how hard it is to find common ground when you're on opposite sides of such a fundamental divide, especially over something as personal as home.
And Mara's friends, they got the seriousness immediately.
I bet.
Sadie apparently just rubbed her temple, saying, Jesus Christ, this is really bad.
Understandable.
And Hannah, always the dramatic one, just goes, he'll kill you, you'll kill him, you'll kill each other.
Sounds like she might not be wrong.
Right. But Mara, even with these warnings ringing in her ears, she heads to the house. Suitcase covered in eco stickers.
Okay. Brave move.
And she gets there, sees the house simple, she says, with ginkgo leaves, and feels this instant connection, like love at first sight. She feels like it could be home.
That feeling Helena wanted for her, that sense of belonging.
Exactly. It grounds her. But then Liam opens the door.
The moment of truth.
And totally shatters her expectations. She was picturing some spoiled man boy.
And instead
there's this jolt, physical attraction. She describes him as broad, well-defined, coldly handsome, feels it like a punch to my solar plexus.
Whoa, okay. Unexpected.
Totally unexpected.
Yeah.
She's flustered. And he seems flustered too at first. Like they're both kind of spellbound, she says, at some base, deeply physical level. He wets his lips and she actually thinks, wow, that's a good look for him.
So there's this spark, this initial chemistry.
For a second, yeah.
But how quickly does that change? You mentioned his demeanor shifts.
Instantly. The second she says her name, says she's there about the house, boom. He goes from flustered, maybe even interested, to coldly handsome and self-assured. The shutters come down. Hard.
Ah, okay. That sudden shift.
Yeah.
It's really revealing, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
like a territorial imperative kicking in.
Territorial imperative.
Yeah, that feeling when someone perceives their space, their territory is being invaded. For Liam, this house clearly isn't just bricks and mortar. It's tied up with his identity, maybe his family legacy.
So Mara showing up, even with a legal claim.
It triggers this deep, almost primal sense of threat. Betrayal, maybe, given it came from his aunt's will. It overrides any initial attraction almost immediately. It really makes you question first impressions versus what's really going on underneath.
So that initial spark got completely extinguished by possessiveness, a feeling of being invaded.
It seems like it. Something deeper, more ingrained, took over. And he acts on it fast.
Oh, he does. Wastes zero time. He immediately, really aggressively offers to buy her out.
Just like that. No discussion.
Nope. Hands her a piece of paper. She says it has a number with zeros, lots of them. Way more than the house is worth, she thinks, and definitely more money than I've ever had in my life.
Wow. For someone with your student debt. That's got to be tempting. A huge sum right there.
Life-changing money, probably. So is that just a smart legal tactic? Overwhelm her with cash? Or is it more personal, desperate?
I think it's both. And that's why it's so effective. Pinchly, legally, financially. An aggressive above-market offer is a standard tactic to quickly remove an unwanted co-owner, especially when you know is financially stretched.
Makes sense.
But the speed of it, the aggression you described, that suggests something more. That primal need for control we talked about.
Mm.
It smacks of that endowment effect, where we value something we own way more than its objective market value. This house is his, in his mind.
Yeah, you can feel that.
His reaction isn't just business, it's emotional.
Yeah.
He wants her gone. Now.
And yet, Mara, even staring at this massive number, this potential escape from debt, she refuses.
She turns it down.
Flat out refuses. That connection to Helena, to the idea of the house being a gift, a home, it's stronger than the money.
Wow. That takes guts. Or maybe desperation of a different kind for belonging.
Maybe both. She tries to negotiate, find other solutions, says maybe she could move in just temporarily, find her feet, or maybe rent her half to him. Practical ideas.
Sensible compromises, it sounds like. Keeping her stake in the inheritance, but giving him space.
Exactly. But Liam, just no to everything.
No negotiation, no counteroffer.
None. She keeps repeating, how much more? Like it's purely about the money for her when it clearly isn't.
That insistence. How much more?
Yeah.
It shows he's not really listening, is he? He's absolutely determined to buy her out, own it completely, any cost. It's not a negotiation. It's him trying to exert total control. His refusal of practical options just highlights that this isn't rational economics for him. It's about winning back his territory.
It's a power play.
Absolutely. Rooted in something deep.
And then he delivers the final blow, looks her right in the eye and says, this is not and will never be your house.
Oof. That's harsh. Direct.
That's the moment for Mara, the condescension, the dismissal. She just snaps. She rips up the offer right in front of him.
Wow. Okay.
Grabs her suitcase, marches past him into the house, finds an empty bedroom, and moves in.
Just like that, she calls his bluff.
Totally. And then sends that text to her friends. Mara Floyd, PhD, just moved into her new house, and it's most definitely on fire.
Goosebumps. What a way to start.
Seriously. So that's where we leave them for now. An EPA scientist and a big oil lawyer. Co-owners. Stuck together in a house left by a mentor who was, let's face it, probably meddling.
Locked in this immediate battle. The clash of values, personalities, everything. Right from minute one.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What would you do if you got an inheritance like that? Part gift, part minefield.
Yeah, how do you navigate that? Your ethics pulling you one way, your practical needs another, and then this confusing layer of unexpected physical attraction, just complicating everything.
Right. This deep dive really shows how inheritance can be so much more than just stuff. It can be a test of your values, a trigger for conflict, maybe even, strangely, a catalyst for connection. Who knows?
It leaves you wondering, though, how does Mara actually start building a home when the foundation itself is basically a battleground between her values and his, with all this complicated personal stuff mixed in?
What's it going to take for either of them to see the other side, to understand what Helena actually left them? It's a potent reminder that some legacies, well, they come with a fight.
A fight that's just beginning, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.